Okay, for those of you who are ready to get standing to do some exercise, here are some of the things that we're going to get started with. I'm going to suggest that maybe you have a chair handy. Some of you may need it, some of you may not. So you'll see me hanging on, and then you'll see me letting go of the chair. We're just going to get started with a little bit of a march. Now, if I feel relatively stable but need a little bit of support, I'm always going to go sideways to my chair. If I feel I need more support, I'm going to face the chair all the time because 2 hands will give me more support than 1. And remember, you can also just do this without any sort of a hand hold. We're going to start with a little bit of a march. So this is working with the joints of our hips, our knees, and our ankles. Okay, so one of the nice things that we can do is what I call, we shift our point of balance. So as I shift weight here in a march, I'm shifting onto my right and my left leg. So another way I can do that is to reach forward with a heel tap. Heel tap. I can add arms if I like. If I want to do one arm at a time. If I'm hanging on with both hands, obviously I'm going to just keep both hands nice and steady here. And again, if I'm not, I might swing my arms forward to go with my feet. Right? Good. From here, I would progress to a tap out. Tap outs. So a balance shift here, we're tapping out, we're shifting all the weight onto one leg as we press the other leg out. Right? Now, if I feel I don't need to hang on to anything, I might want to add an arm swing to the side as well. Now, just a quick note here. Some of you might find it hard to shift the weight onto one leg, and in which case I would say do a step touch. You'll find this a little easier than standing on one leg with the leg coming out, right? So either step touch where your whole body's moving over, or you're standing on one leg as you reach out. You decide. All right. Next one then would be a tap back. Tap back. Tap back. Now, with the tap back, I would use a push arm movement. Push, 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 push. Right? So what do you think then if we could combine all the movements? Tapping forward, tapping side, and tapping back. That's a good one. Now, if you find that that's too much, stick with about 8 in each direction, all right? So I can tap forward, tap side, tap back, tap forward. Oh, I'm getting confused. Tap forward, tap side, tap back. All right? Tap forward. Again, gosh, I'm having a hard time. Swing, swing, push, push. See who can keep up with this. Swing, swing, push, push. I'll do one more and you see how you're doing. I'm having a hard time holding it together. One more? Let's just do one more. Yeah, there we go. Side, side, push, push. Woo! Back to a march. Back to a march. How does that feel? Now's a good time to have a drink of water if you need some water, a sip of water, or a wee break. All right, so let's try something a little different. What if I don't actually put my foot on the ground to tap? What if I just do a little kick? Little kick. Lift up, kick out. Little kicks. Little kicks. So now what I'm specifically targeting here are my quadriceps. Now, if you really like to do this, what really goes good with a kick is a punch. Punch, 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 punch. You can also hang on and punch with one arm, and then maybe turn around and punch with the other arm, if you like. How's that feel? Sort of like throwing your own personal little tantrum, isn't it? Kicking and punching. Okay. There we go. Something else we can do too is a swing. And this one I just like because it makes my hip feel nice and loose. And these swings can be in any direction. The main thing we want to focus on is that our lower back here stays nice and quiet. We've got the shoulders, ribs, and hips all in one line, so I don't want to see any rounding and flexing like that. So sometimes a hand on the hip just gives us a reminder that we're keeping the tummy nice and tight and just swinging the leg. And the nice thing about these swings is that you can take them in any direction. And it just feels good if you've been sitting a little bit to be able to loosen up through that femur in the hip socket, right? And then you might turn around, try the other side. Again, and you can, if you're in the chair here, you can swing and do the same sort of thing. Whatever direction feels good. Right? Just feels nice. And yeah, it still works, you bet. I'm feeling this all through my glutes, my abductors, and my hip flexors. All right, speaking of hip abductors, we're going to do a little bit of work here that helps us keep the outer stability to our hips. And for some of you, again, it's going to be a step touch. A step touch. So we're stepping out, which abducts the hip, right? And for others, it's going to be out, in, out, in, out, in. Now you're going to notice when I do this exercise, I'm just going to turn to face you for this, is that I'm keeping my feet absolutely pointing straight. So I'm making sure that I'm not letting the hip lead with my hip flexor here. I'm turning the leg so that the toe always faces the front. Do you see the difference? This one I'll feel here in my outer hip. This one I'll feel in my hip flexor, and that's not really what I want to target. I want to press out, right? So if I do the other leg now, I might be facing my chair. And so really what I'm doing is I'm pressing out with the side of the foot. That sort of makes more sense, eh? Doesn't take very many to feel those repetitions. Feels pretty good. Got to give that a little bit of a shake. Now, something that's really kind of cool is when we were doing our weight transfers, forward, side, back, they're really the kind of exercise that helps us with lunging. So let's go again, and we'll touch base on those, but we're going to do sort of singles. What I'm going to do instead of just a tap is I'm going to step forward, transferring my weight onto my front leg, bring it back. I'm going to step out to the side, transferring my weight onto the outside leg. And I'm going to take a step back, keeping the heel lifted, but transferring my weight onto the back leg. All right, step forward, just like I'm about to walk, I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to step to the side and pull it back and step back, keeping that heel lifted just about like I'm going to take a step backward. Step forward, step side, and step back. Forward, side, and back. Forward, side, and back. And really what these are doing is they're helping us get ready for a lunge. So if I wanted to progress those, I could do a little bit of a deeper step forward, a little bit of a mini squat to the side, and a little bit of a lunge back. A little bit of a deeper movement here, a little deeper, and still a little deeper. Okay, so it becomes my little front lunge, side, squat, and back lunge. I'm keeping it very small range of motion, really nice and safe for my joints, and back. Now recognizing that I might not be there yet. I might still feel better just doing the stepping, right? And that's okay too. The stepping is where we start. So if I felt that was too much, I'm coming back to the stepping here. But if I feel, no, I'm ready, I'm going for a little bit more movement. Like that. All right, we want to try the other side, Joanne, or one side there is good? I think one side's good. You can do the other side, okay. So again, I'm just going to hang on to my chair. I'm going to step forward, pull it back. Step to the side, pull it back, step back with the heel lifted. bring it back. This is just my prep move. And it just allows me to safely explore how my balance is, what my joint movement's going to be, right? And this can also, by the way, look like this. Those who have done Pilates or bar will sure know what this is, and also something that you can do in a chair too, right, with the leg underneath you, right? But for now, for standing, I'm going to explore my movement. Now, just moving this one along a little quicker, I'm going to take it to a little bit deeper movement, a little bit of a squat, a little bit of a lunge, a little bit of a front, side, and back. All right, just do a few more with a bigger range of motion, hanging on, or take it down to the weight transfer. Weight transfer. Here's another weight transfer. Or if I'm really getting a little tired, it just becomes the slide out. And you'll notice the way my heel works is the same in each option. All right. Do you want something else, Joanne, in terms of a little bit more rhythmic, or that's enough movement, or okay? All right.
So maybe some stretches. Just
stretching's good. Okay. So, all right. For our stretching sequence, we're once again going to come seated on our chair. We're going to do our stretching from our chair today. So once again, we do want to sit on the edge of our chair with the feet flat on the floor, shoulders over those hips, and nice and tall through that spine. Always like to start with a little bit of breath. Nice deep breath in, nice deep long breath, and slow exhalation. If your movement's just very small with the arms, that's okay too. Breathe in and exhale. If you want to reach a little higher, please do so. And exhale. Good, we're going to shrug those shoulders up to the ears. So any of you who have been building a little bit of tension in your neck, this next exercise is going to help you. Reach those fingers down, trying to get those shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to look absolutely forward and then tilt an ear to our shoulder. So getting a nice stretch here on the side of the neck. And then if I want, I can tuck my chin just a little bit, and that's going to move the stretch a little bit further back on the neck. It's a really nice one. And release. Pardon me. You want to hold your stretches for about 20 seconds. Let's get those shoulder shrugs going again. 2 and 1. Reaching those fingertips down towards the floor. I'm going to look directly forward and now tilt my other ear to my other shoulder. Good. And then I'm going to tuck the chin just a little bit. Brings the stretch a little bit further back on that neck. And release. Give those arms a shake. So hopefully you feel a little less tension through the sides of the neck and the shoulder. We're going to start with our hands here together, like you're good about getting ready to clap. Nice and low in front of the chest. We're going to open those arms, pulling those thumbs back as we open up through the chest and the biceps. Looks like you're getting ready for the biggest hug ever, right? Good. I'm going to bring one arm forward, like I'm going to shake Joanne's hand, but then I'm going to lower my arm just a little bit and then guide that arm across the front of the body. So I want to make sure my shoulders are nice and level while I'm doing this, and I'm still sitting nice and tall. The more I round and sort of pull the shoulder up, the less I'll get of the stretch I want and the muscles I want. So again, shoulders down away from the ears, pull that arm just in front of the body. That's just good. Moving to a tricep stretch with fingertips walking down my spine. Right. For some of you, that might feel like that's too hard to get the arm up here, in which case I'll just touch my opposite shoulder and lift up here. This might feel better for some of you. If you felt this was fine, then you continue with this stretch. All right? And let's do the other side. So once again, I bring the arm out in front, a little bit low, pull it across the front of the shoulders, feeling the stretch again through the back of that shoulder. And then I'm either going to start my tricep stretch here with an elbow lift or take it right up and over the head with my fingers walking down the spine. All right, we're going to release that. So that feels pretty good. Like to get started with the legs a little bit, so I'm going to straighten one leg out. Again, I need to be seated right on the edge of my chair so I can get that leg nice and straight. I've got a nice flat back, and I'm going to try from here, pulling the toe towards me. So when I pull the toe towards me, I'm going to be stretching a bit through the calf, but because I'm nice and tall here, I should be getting a stretch here through the back of the leg. If I'm not feeling it through the back of the leg, keeping my back nice and flat, I'm going to lean forward about an inch or two, and boy, that's going to make me really feel that at the back of my leg. I want to feel a nice, gentle stretch. I don't want it to hurt and I don't want it to shake, but I'm going to try and find that position and hold it for 20 seconds. Good, and then I'm going to try the other leg, get it nice and straight, pull the toe towards me, and then decide, do I need to lean forward a bit or am I okay here? Because I might be okay here too, if I'm especially tight today. We'll release that. Now, because I'm in a chair with arms, it's probably easier for me to stretch my hips just by taking one leg underneath my chair, hanging onto the arms. So by bringing my knee underneath here, if I got to get my knee right underneath, I squeeze my buttocks, maybe give myself a little bit of a pelvic curl here, and I'll feel the stretch through the front of the thighs, so getting the hip flexors targeted. If you have the kind of chair where you can actually, oh, I guess I could do it here. Sometimes some people don't have the ability to move all the way back. You can also take it to what looks like a bit of a lunge. Looks like a bit of a lunge here, but I'm always hanging on to my chair here for support. Pelvic tilt means that instead of letting my back arch, I'm just pulling the tummy in and tucking the tailbone under so that it's in line with my shoulders, and that's going to help me feel that stretch a little bit better. So if I've got the kind of movement and chair that will tolerate this, that's great. Otherwise, I might just reach my leg underneath my chair, underneath me on the chair. Still feels good. We'll do the other leg. So starting here, I might just reach the leg underneath me, or go sideways on my chair, hanging onto the back for safety, bring that leg back. And again, imagining I'm in a bit of a lunge here, tuck that tailbone, pull the tummy back a little bit, and I'll feel that stretch all through that front of the thigh. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. A lot of us are going to find that our inner thighs get quite tight. So again, a nice way to do that from seated is just to take one leg out straight again. The toe can be lifted or not. And I'm going to basically keep my hands on this one knee while I pull the other leg open. Some of you will be quite bendy. I can't do the splits, but I can sure feel this stretch here through the inner thigh. If I want to enhance it, I'm just going to lean forward a little bit into my hands on this thigh. And then I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to straighten the other leg, put my hands on this thigh, and then bring that leg out to the side. And if I want to enhance it a bit, I'll lean a little bit into it. Right. Now, not sure how many people have hip issues. I don't usually do the outer hip stretch at all for that. You can always kind of do a stretch like this a little bit for your hip, or take it to here, but usually most people find this is kind of a tight one to get into. If you're really, really looking for a bit of a hip stretch, and you can take this to standing, what's really, really nice is, and if you cross your feet, as long as you've got some decent balance, cross your feet and then reach for your toes. This will give you a nice stretch through the side and back of the back leg. You could also do it with your hand on the chair if you felt that was more support, right? You could do the other side. Again, cross over. You could use two hands on the chair if you needed to. Alternately, you could always come to a wall or a pillar, like a stair rail or something like that, and then bend over. That would give you a little bit of a hip stretch and a little bit of your core stretch as well. Right, so I'd go here, bend over. And from a chair perspective, that can also look like this, reaching up and over, right? If I wanted to stay in my chair, it's also going to feel really good. All right, that's about it.